Hello, welcome to the Self-Learning Podcast by Dr. Sushma Singh. Let us start discussion on Unit 22, Sustainable Development and Challenges to Decentralized Governance. For the last decade and a half, sustainable development has been the catchword in most of the policies and programs of nation state all around the world. The Rio Earth Summit has been hailed as a landmark meeting aimed at augmenting efforts towards achieving sustainable development and environmental protection. We often hear or read about global warming, environmental degradation, depletion of resources, and scarcity of water, pollution of air, water, and land, melting glaciers, or mass migration of people from rural to urban areas in search of livelihood means. Why have these issues become so prominent? Why has it become so important for nations to incorporate the sustainable development dimension in their policies and governance? India, for its part, has also been playing an active role towards this end through various multilateral agreements, apart from the making it one of the core themes in its governance matters. The management of resources is easier said than done. It needs massive efforts not only at central but also at state level to meticulously work out the modalities of integrating the goal of sustainable development with governance and decentralized governance. In particular, from a positive angle, decentralized governance can help a great deal in accomplishing these constructive goals in tandem with the national policy. It is an ongoing process in India. It would definitely take a considerable length of time to measure its impact on the nation. With this background, this unit deals in depth as to what sustainable development is and how it can be realized through decentralized governance. Now, let us talk about what is sustainable development. Sustainable development, according to Brundtland Commission report, Our Common Future, is defined as development which meets the needs of present without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. This is one of the most widely used definitions relating to sustainable development. Similar definitions have been coined since then that emphasized on improving the quality of human life while living within the carrying capacity of supporting ecosystem, or the development that comprises of economic and social development that protect and enhance the natural environment and social equality. The World Conservation Strategy report defined it as the integration of conservation and development to ensure that modifications to the planet do indeed secure the survival and well-being of all peoples. Whatever the definition is, it carries the tenor of development that can be achieved without an undue exploitation of the natural resources. For long it was taken for granted by the mankind that nature is bountiful and can be used unscrupulously. Accordingly, the resource exploitation continued unmindful of the consequences till it was realized that the resources are actually being overexploited. The international community called for a meet that aimed at bringing a halt in this menace and chalk out a plan to restore nature's capacity. The first call of these environmental threats was given as early as 1960s. A new environmental movement emerged around this time that was sparked off by the Rachel Carson's book Silent Spring. The book drew the attention of the world to the destruction of the wildlife by the use of pesticide DDT. She warned that these chemicals contained the prospect of a dying world in which springtime would no longer bring forth leaves to new life, but only silence. Carson revealed that our actions could lead to a seriously damaging environmental consequences when we interfered with the natural system we fully did not understand. There are meetings from time to time addressing these issues, including the Stockholm Conference of 1972, the United Nations General Assembly in 1983 set up the World Commission on Environment and Development, with the Norwegian Prime Minister Mrs. Gro Harlem Brundtland as the chairperson. The report Our Common Future was brought out by this commission. The core theme of the report emphasized the importance of taking into consideration environmental resource limitation before deciding the economic policies of the state. Thus, a need was felt to integrate environment and economics in a coordinated manner without having detrimental effects on both. In this period of market-driven economies and globalization, there is an immense competition between the various nations to reap maximum benefits. This undue competition led to overuse of natural resources in the name of development. The developing countries especially are compelled to use their resources in an uneconomical manner, while the poverty levels remained as they are. Development eluded many a country. Keeping this in view, the Brundtland Commission argued that in a world marked by extreme poverty, people are compelled to use resources in an erratic manner for meeting their immediate needs. These means of survival result in an unhealthy environment. Therefore, the key to development is welfare of people with a simultaneous nurturing of natural resources. There exist two dimensions of human needs: the fulfillment of basic needs like food, clothing, shelter, and a clean environment, and the option of pursuing a chosen lifestyle in terms of materialistic possessions. The developed countries were successful through early industrialization in providing these comforts to their population. The developing countries have not been able to secure the advanced technologies that would ensure a better lifestyle to their citizens. To this day, they are in need of technical knowledge that would not only give them a good life, but also an economically viable one. These countries have abundant natural resources, but they lack the know-how to convert them into environmentally sustainable technologies and tools. In this context, the second option, that is the option of choosing one's own lifestyle, becomes a subjective option. A good governance strategy promises a better standard of living, and how this can be realized depends on the integrated approach adopted by the government. Thus, an intermediate linkage has been established between both the aspects. Now, let us wind up the session, and thank you very much for engaging yourself with the Self Learning podcast.